and I'll be watching you from here.
Hi there, welcome to vlog number 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Now it's Wednesday, it's about midday as I'm recording this, and I've just got back from a cabaret gig. And how awesome is that on a Wednesday, my show actually started at 10:30 a.m. I know, I'm so rock and roll. But there's like 200 people there, and you know, everyone's listening and clapping and doing all the things that we singers, you know, love. I had an amazing band, a house band. Thank you, Greg Cooper. It was at Canterbury Hurlston RSL Club, which is a beautiful big venue, and you know, lovely big stage. And you know, I'm home by midday. It's fantastic. And I only actually discovered cabaret maybe this kind of cabaret about 4 years ago. And the kind of cabaret, it's for an older crowd, you know, a lot of retirees and I guess people that don't have to work 9 to 5 that come along and want, you know, an event in the middle of the day. Who doesn't want that? And it's such a lovely thing. And I guess there's different kinds of cabaret. I've also done a type of cabaret that's a bit cheekier. The one I did today was a little bit more G-rated, lots of big band swing and, you know, 60s music. And I think the thing that I've discovered is I definitely have this cabaret part of me, even though it's not most of what I do. For me, cabaret is just telling stories and having a chat between the songs and linking it all together and making it a bit more theatrical. And I like to do that where, you know, when I'm doing rock anyway, which might not always be appropriate, but I'm allowed to do it in cabaret. I can, you know, have a bit of a cheeky talk between all the songs and no one's going to say, can you just get to the next song? Which is what's happened to me before when I've done kind of rock gigs. I start off having this conversation with the audience and I get a bit carried away. Can you just shut up and sing? Anyway, that didn't happen today, so that's lovely. It's been a little bit of a sad week, a very sad week. In fact, we've lost one of our own, the fabulous Damien Lovelock, who is probably most famous for fronting the punk outfit Celibate Rifles.
Snap, crackle, pop, it's 9 o'clock. Radio's tuned to John. It's a lemon, liquid, love affair. Another perfect day begun. Valium gold, memories of a lifetime long ago. Never dreamt that you'd just be a man to cook and wash and sew.
And has also been a soccer commentator, among a million other things. But from my point of view, we worked together for the last 10 years in all different shows. And, you know, he was this brash, talking, really Aussie kind of surfer, yoga teaching punk guy. A mix of all different things, and against all the odds, because we're really different people with really different music tastes, we became really, really great mates. And he produced a lot of the shows that I've done over the years. He's one of the world's best, most charismatic front people. Some of the shows we did, for example, CBGBs. CBGBs, you might know, is that iconic punk club in New York that gave birth to bands like Blondie, you know, who I'm obsessed by.
Darling, 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 I can't wait to see you. Your picture in eye. I can't wait to touch you in the flesh.
The Ramones, Patti Smith, Talking Heads, television, and I didn't know half of this until I met Damo. He was such an important musical mentor to me. He opened musical doors that, you know, I don't know that I would have ever gone into if I hadn't met him. And he will be missed dreadfully. So thank you, Damo, for the music and for everything else. One of the people that often worked in these shows with Damo was, of course, Rex Goh, and I've been privileged to work with him in all different kind of shows. We were trying to work out when we first met, and it's got to be, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe, and it was probably doing shows like these with Damo. And one of the most magnificent guitarists you'll ever hear, but also one of those really lovely human beings. It's just so generous in every way. And when I recorded this interview a couple of weeks ago, it was a weekend of Rex gigs. So Friday night we did one of Damo's shows, which was the Monterey Pop Festival. Now, I've got to admit that I hadn't heard of the Monterey Pop Festival until Damo put this show together. But, of course, the Monterey Pop Festival pretty much was the first music festival as we know them now. And certainly you wonder if Monterey had never happened, would Woodstock, which is probably the most famous musical festival ever, would that have ever happened? And because of Monterey, Janis Joplin, Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix. All of these people became internationally famous. They might have been, you know, well known in their small areas or even just in their own countries, but it was this festival and also the documentary that came out after the festival that made these people household names. And so being able to recreate the music and the vibe of this festival has been such a pleasure. So this particular weekend we did Monterey. Tribute. This is how I discovered my spirit animal song. The song that I just, you know, love to perform and I think sums me up. It's this mix of rock and theatricality and craziness that I can just relate to so well, which is of course White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. Our white night is talking backwards. So in this show I get to do Janis Joplin and Jefferson Airplane and, you know, a whole lot of other singers that I've got to admit I didn't necessarily know before I did this show. So that weekend with Rex started off with Monterey Festival at the Camelot Lounge in Marrickville, and on Saturday night we did the Rolling Stones show in Troggy. I have to be careful how to pronounce that. Australian place names, you just never know. Towradgi, not Tauraggi, which is how I've been pronouncing it for a long time. Troggy Beach Hotel. And I hope you enjoy the interview I did with Rex. Truth will show when you stand so close, eye to eye. So today I have the great pleasure of interviewing Rex Goh. He's one of probably the best known and best loved session guitarists in Australia. Don't read the graffiti, it's terrible. So I have Rex Goh here, who is a member of internationally successful band Esply. A session player for every man and his dog, from the Wiggles to Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yeah, that's the old days.
Oh, Cyndi Lauper wasn't that long ago.
No.
No?
But that was on TV.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Turn after turn. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. And turn after turn.
That was on TV. Well, all the TV work you've done with Idol and the Midday Show and Club Buggery, everything else. Music actually in movies.
Yes.
So much, a massive resume. What's going on for this year?
Well, this year I'm gonna be playing with Glenn Shore quite a bit.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to quite a few places in Queensland and out in the backwoods like Bathurst.
Yeah, nice.
Dubbo.
Country touring is fun.
Country touring, yeah.
What kind of repertoire is that?
Oh, a lot of it is his little river band repertoire, plus some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A band or a duo?
No, the whole band.
The whole band.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what else? Because you've always got like a lot of things on the boil. That's not all you're doing this year.
No, and I'm doing a bit of Monterey.
Yes.
A bit of everything, I'm in the middle of producing, or starting to produce an album.
Who's that
can't
for?
say-
I can't say yet?
yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we'll watch this space for that
Yeah,
one.
watch this space.
I was trying to work out how long I've known you.
Uh-huh.
I haven't quite been able to work it out, but it's at least 15 years.
Wow. Yeah, it would be.
At least.
Probably think.
Maybe even a
thanks
bit
to
more.
Rao.
Yeah.
I think Rao introduced, actually, for me, Rao introduced me to like you, Damien, Lovelock, Steve Bull.
Me too.
Like,
Yeah, which is great.
yeah.
And we've all been
Yeah.
working together on so many interesting projects. That's so
we,
good.
we work at the zoo,
Yeah.
Twilight concert.
And our
Those
home
were
used to be
really
the
good.
basement,
I know.
which is very sad. That's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
But you look exactly the same, so I think you might be a vampire. You do, you're the same. It's like at least 15 years, maybe more. But another thing that hasn't changed, you always have a great time. You always look like you love what you do.
I do love what I do. If not, I wouldn't be playing.
Yeah. Well, what about music do you love?
Music, I love all sorts of music, but mainly, I come from, I do a lot of pop things.
Yeah.
Right, and I come from pop and rock.
Yeah.
But it's funny enough, I started with jazz.
You started with jazz.
Yeah, I went to the conservatorium
Right.
years ago. Right.
Yeah.
In my class, it was like James Morrison.
Oh, wow.
Was in my class.
Yeah.
Lloyd Swanton, one of the incredible bass players.
Yeah.
This country was in my class. Dale Barlow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, a lot of players. Yeah. And then from there, I joined Air Supply.
Right. Which is pop, absolutely pop, beautiful pop.
Absolutely, how to
Yeah.
play interesting things in like 3 or 4 chords.
Yeah, right.
And that makes me, have a different perspective in music.
Did you fall in love with pop more because of that?
Yeah, I did. I did actually, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, that's
I
fantastic.
stay in that pop, rock kind of world.
Yeah,
And until now, I still love pop
yeah,
and rock.
that's fantastic. Especially coming from a jazz background, because some jazz musicians kind of turn their nose up at pop. It seems too easy.
Yeah, but
It's not easy though. We know that it's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's designed to sound easy, but not be easy.
Yeah, but luckily I have that background, and I can sort of throw in a bit of jazz things in my pop
Yeah.
playing, right?
This is the secret. Now we know.
which helps me in especially sometimes soloing and things like that.
Yeah.
I'll go a slightly different way from the regular.
Yeah,
Players.
that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, when Air Supply, they were already successful before you joined, but then they went on to even more success.
I first joined them in 1976 when they
When you
had
were about 15.
Love and Other Bruises.
Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful song.
I think they formed a band and then they released the album, and I joined about 6 months later.
Okay. And what was it like to be in a band that had #1 hit records around the world?
Oh,
what
that's amazing.
changed for you?
Well, the first thing when I went to America, I mean, this is the second time. The first time we did a support for Rod Stewart, and we were unknown.
Wow,
in
still that's a big
America.
support.
Oh yeah, I mean, we did big venues. I mean, I'm talking about probably 77, 78, and Rod Stewart was like at his peak.
Yeah,
You know, he had hot legs. You know that. You know.
that era,
yeah.
for sure, huge.
And so we were playing Madison Square Garden.
Okay, so basically I stuffed up and we got 6 minutes of a really good 45-minute interview. So Rex, being the gentleman he is, agreed to do it again.
Oh, you don't have to say
Oh, I'm only new at this, and you know, I could say it was a technical issue, but basically I was a nong. But anyway,
it's a technical issue.
technical issue, that's good. Okay, so where we were up to?
Where were we?
We were up to Air Supply.
From nothing, and then suddenly you're thrust upon the big stage.
Yeah.
When we were an unknown band, like nobody knew us.
How did you get that gig? I mean, how did Air Supply get the gig?
Rod Stewart liked the band.
Yeah, right.
And then he said, yeah, okay, you know, the management talk, and then next thing we know, we were supporting Rod Stewart all over Canada and America. I think there was like 53 gigs in 3 months.
How amazing. Were you nervous?
Oh yeah, and just imagine, you know, I've never played stages that big before, right?
Yeah.
You know, I remember the first night when I was on, standing on stage at the Madison Square Garden, I was shivering.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see the first 100 rows or 100 odd rows, and then just black. But you see, in those days, people can still light cigarettes.
Oh.
You see cigarette lighters, you know, right up to the heavens.
Yeah. Wow.
It's amazing.
So
Yeah.
do you have any tricks to deal with nerves?
No, actually, you know, I just, you know, for the first 10, 15 minutes, I was like a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it got better.
Yeah.
But we were there for 3 nights.
Oh, nice. So the third one you were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
All hand.
Yeah.
By then.
Yeah. Do you still get nervous? I mean, this is how many
I
years
do
later?
actually, you know, after all these years, certain gigs I still do get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's me. Yeah. When it's a gig, I know that it's an important gig or whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. You know, I can be playing in a pub,
Yeah.
and now and again I get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
Because I want to perform.
You want to
I
do
wanna
well. Yeah. Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you about, because as well as being a technically amazing guitarist, you've got the reputation for having a really strong work ethic. Like you always, even if you're doing some little dinky corner pub gig, you learn everything and you're really prepared.
I want to be prepared.
Yeah. Who gave you that work ethic?
I suppose it's through, you know, like when I was young, you know, I know when I'm not prepared and when I go and do a gig, you know, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't like to feel terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I want to nail it. Like every time when I do a gig, it doesn't matter. Even it's a free gig or it's a corner pub with my mates, I want to nail it.
And it's a personal satisfaction
It's
thing.
personal satisfaction.
Yeah. How about your parents? Did they instill in you any kind of standards like that?
My father actually, he's always very curious about. He's like the home handyman, you know.
Yeah.
And he taught me, you know, like always before you do anything, know what you're doing and analyze and well, you know, get into the guts
Yeah.
of what you're doing.
But he's not a musician.
No, he's never a musician. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the family that plays music. But I know he loves music because I remember when I was 3 years old, we had this gramophone, you know, one of
The
those
wind-up
old wind-up
ones, yeah.
right? And he had like half a dozen records. 78s, and I will play to death, day in, day out, and drove my mother crazy.
Yeah. What kind of music?
Oh, I don't know. In the old days,
This is
it
back
would
in
be
Singapore,
just,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be like, you know, the modern, you know, Frank Sinatra,
Yeah.
all that.
Beautiful
Doris
stuff.
Day.
Oh. So when was your first experience in playing music?
Playing, I was in high school. I had a band. I had a band when I was in my 6th year of my first year of high school.
Yeah.
My first year of high school, I got a few mates together and said, "Oh, let's join a band." You know,
Why? What made
play.
you want to do
I love
that?
to play. I just want to play.
Yeah. After
Yeah.
listening to all that music, you
Yeah,
wanted to do it
yeah.
yourself.
I just want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of
And
music
so-
was that band?
Oh, I think in those days we were playing like Beatles,
Yeah, of
Rolling
course.
Stones music.
Yeah.
And it's just party band, you know.
Yeah.
And quite often we'll play at somebody's birthday or whatever, you know, and we might get like $5 or $10, and that was wow, you know.
Oh yeah, the first
Pocket
paid
money,
gig,
yeah.
whatever amount of money it is so exciting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how I started, and I can say I have never been out of a band
Yeah.
from then, you know, in my high school days until now. I still play in a band.
Yeah.
Haven't
That's
stopped
fantastic.
playing.
So how about your work with Savage Garden? How did that all
I
come
had a
about?
call from the producer Charles Fisher one day, and he said, "Rex, would you like to come and play on an album for these 2 young guys from Brisbane?" So I went to his house, and this was recorded actually low budget, right? They weren't signed, they didn't have a name then.
But Charles Fisher did, right?
Charles
As a
Fisher
producer.
heard them like demos,
Yeah.
and really believed in them.
Right.
And thought, you know, like these guys can go far. So he put a lot of money into it.
Right. His
We
personal
actually
money.
finance. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So no big recording studio budget, so he did it in his house.
Oh no, in his house. Yeah, he
Yeah.
knocked a hole in the wall. Put, you know, in the
No.
old days, this huge 24 track. So he put the 24 track in the hallway.
Oh my
of
goodness, he
his
actually
house.
set up his house as a studio
Oh,
just
yeah,
for
yeah.
this recording.
Yeah, just for this recording. And I'll be playing like acoustic guitar in his lounge room when his kids are at school. So
Finish, it's 3:10, you got to finish.
Oh yeah. You know, I'll go there about 10 o'clock, and then we finished about, you know, before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, before the kids come home. So that's and I was there for like a couple of weeks.
So when you were recording it, did you think this is going to really do something?
Well, when I put my guitar down, right, a lot of the vocals wasn't there.
Ah.
I'm the first one, actually, the first live instrument down
Right.
for that album. They put the drums and the bass later,
Around your guitar?
around my guitar.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, like, you know, everything was programmed. So it's all, like, you know, Charles said, don't worry, you know, just play with the track, and we'll put real drums and bass and other
Right.
things on the top, you know,
Okay.
after when I finish.
Yeah. So when did you first hear it? With, you know, completed with the vocals and everything, on the radio?
On the radio.
Did
Yeah,
you?
On the radio. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You wouldn't have even, you probably would have recognised it. Did you recognise your guitar?
Yeah, well, I mean, Charles Fisher one day, you know, called me up and said, Rex, congratulations. Remember that album you played on, you know? The band's called Savage Garden.
Oh, you didn't even know
And,
the name back then?
No,
So
I
you,
didn't know the
yeah,
name.
okay, yeah.
And he said, well, one of the tracks to the moon and back, it's number one.
And not in just in Australia, right? Number
No,
one
Yeah, worldwide.
everywhere. Yeah, how did that feel?
Feels great.
Yeah. You've had a few now though, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in Air Supply, before Savage Garden, I had quite a few international hits already. I played on quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I would have played so far today maybe 10 worldwide number, at least in the top 10.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I can't...
It's a great feeling when you know, walk into the supermarket and suddenly, I think it's
Yeah.
me playing.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine you changing too much. I mean, Do people treat you differently once you've had #1 songs around the world? You don't seem
No,
to.
not in
You're
Australia.
always humble. Anyway,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you know.
You didn't get a rock star big head?
No. I mean, you know, when we were in America, I can still remember the first time we were there. This is when we had a hit there. Right?
Yeah.
And I met our tour manager first time, Robert Street, his name. Hi Robert. Big, you know, 6 foot African American.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said was, you know, he got us all into this room, right? And he said, right, you guys are stars. All of you are stars. I don't want to see you out without a limo.
No, he wanted you to have the whole
Act
image
like
that went with it. Yeah. So
act
did
like
you?
us. Well, I mean, you know, we can't go out without a limo. That's it. That's how it is.
And did they?
Even though, if let's say, you know, our hotel is booked across the road from where
Yeah.
we play, right? We have to go through the kitchen, out the back door, into the limo,
No, go around.
ride
the block.
around, go around the block 2 or
love
3
it.
times, and then come in, you know, like stars. That's how.
Did they hire girls and people to be able? Well, yeah, I'm sure you had that naturally anyway.
We have a lot of security.
Yeah. Did you have the screaming kind of thing happen?
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I mean, you know, we have fun. It's there, so we enjoy it.
And you worked for it, and
we
So I'm assuming probably those kind of gigs were among the highlights of your career so far. Is there anything more that you would say is the biggest highlight for you so far?
Well, yeah, there's quite a lot. I remember playing at the Domain, you know, like this was I remember playing to about 110,000 people.
What was that? Who was that with Air Supply?
No, this I think I was working with Tommy Emmanuel.
Right.
I mean, working with Tommy is a highlight.
Yeah, just because of
Yeah,
the
I
music.
toured with him for like 4 years.
Right. Yeah.
And playing with him every night, it's just, you know, mind blowing.
Yeah.
Such an incredible musician.
Yeah, it's funny that I was speaking to John Spence earlier, and he was telling me all about working with Tommy as well. Did you know Tommy? Well, you will probably do that. He's an amazing drummer.
Oh yeah.
That just blew my mind. It's like how that's not fair.
Oh yeah, he plays. You know, he plays bass. He plays drums.
Yeah.
And I can still remember. You know, like I broke my finger one time. This finger.
That would have been a disaster.
It was like 1 week into the tour, into one of his tours, and I called Tommy up and said, Tommy, I don't think I can do the tour, you know, I broke a finger. And he said, I don't care how what you do, but I want you there tomorrow in Canberra. I had to drive to Canberra.
Yeah.
Okay, and be on stage.
And so, of course, you were.
So I had this bandage up, you know, and toured the whole 3 months with him.
And how long did your finger take to heal?
About a year.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, to fully heal, you know.
Yeah, because you were stressing it all the time and not letting it heal.
Well,
too.
I mean, you know, once you got bandaged, I had to sort of sync the whole repertoire, how to play the whole show
Around
with
the
3
finger.
fingers.
Oh, Tommy Emmanuel material. Oh my goodness.
That was fun.
So how did you break your finger? Because I can imagine you would be pretty
Yeah.
careful with your hands.
I was, until I tried to hang a clothes dryer on the wall.
Oh no! Something so mundane as that too.
I know, you know, I just moved into a new place, right, and I had to hang the clothes dryer on the wall, but it slipped, so my hand got caught between the tap and the
Oh
clothes dryer.
no! What a disaster.
Oh, yeah. But, you know,
Yeah, it's life, and you
You
just have
soldier
to
on.
keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just gotta keep going.
So what would be a low light? If these are among the highlights. Not the breaking the finger bit, obviously, but a gig. What's a gig that sticks in your memory as not one of the most exciting ones?
Well, I remember this was, way before when I sort of make it big then. In Australia, I had a band with Maggie McKinney.
Oh
Beautiful
yeah,
singer.
yeah. She was one of the most in-demand session singers when I was starting out. Yeah,
That's right. And we had a little band together, and we had a truck, PAs or truck, and I remember we were driving from Adelaide to Port Pirie. Right?
Yeah, is that in South Australia? Or?
In South Australia to play a gig. And
A gig in Port
the
Pirie?
band was in like a station wagon, and the band got there, but the truck broke down halfway, and the truck didn't arrive for the gig.
And it had all your gear in it.
So we couldn't play, right? So the public can kick us out. Well, you can't play because you don't have anything here, so they kick us out.
So you couldn't stay the night.
No.
And you're in the middle of
We're
nowhere.
in the middle of nowhere.
So where did you stay?
No, nowhere.
Nowhere in the car?
No, I think we slept in the car, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, it's rock and roll.
It is rock and roll, and you have to have that story to tell later
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, what does music mean to you?
Music is still my life at the moment. I still play, and this is my job. I still work full time as a musician. So yeah.
It's more than a job for you, though.
Well, it's my life.
Yeah.
It's not just a job. I don't treat playing music as a job. I enjoy doing it every time I play. So it's not really a job for me. It's it's something I really enjoy doing. So and I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed that I can still sort of earn money and really enjoy what I do.
Yeah. So what's coming up in the future for you, do you think? Or do you let it kind of come your way naturally?
Yeah, at the moment I'm not chasing anything.
Yeah.
I just let it come. I do a bit of producing. And I try to work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Every week is always different. Every week it's a different repertoire.
So that means a lot of learning. How much?
Yes.
Yes, which I can very much relate to. It feels like I spend half my life learning songs, and
We
I
do
think,
the same as you.
yeah. But sometimes I complain to myself, and then I think, why are you complaining? You're not down the mines,
That's
and
right.
you're not stuck in an office doing a job you don't like or whatever. Oh, poor you got to learn some songs. I mean, it's pretty wonderful, but I mean, at the same time, I'm sure, like me, you end up staying up till all hours sometimes because you might have
I have to finish.
5 different repertoires in one week,
Yeah.
and then no new one the next
I've
weekend.
done that many times, having 5 repertoires
Yeah.
in a week. And I just gotta, okay, this week or next week I've got 5 repertoires. But I'll try to start preparing, 2 weeks before.
Yes.
And if I have to write a lot of charts out, I will just start writing and okay, I've got to do this first, and I'll do that, and I'll do that. I really prepare.
Yeah.
I got to have a timetable.
Yeah.
I just
squeeze
set
it all
myself
in.
up and okay, this is what I have to do. By Wednesday I have to finish this repertoire. By Thursday I have to do this. So, hopefully in 2 weeks' time I'm set.
You'll be ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially when the phone rings and, can you do this fill-in job tonight? And you have to try and then squeeze that extra one in. Because I know I've done that to you. And you still managed to be prepared with all these charts. How did you do that?
Oh, yeah.
But, okay, considering in a given week you're probably spending hours upon hours learning repertoire, do you still have any time or do you have any needs to just practice? Not practice the songs, but just practice your craft,
I wish I have enough time in the day that I can actually sit down and practice. I find that, personally I'm guilty of not practicing enough. I like to.
Yeah.
But by the time I divided my time into learning, into a bit of production, and doing other things,
And possibly having a life occasionally outside of music, although that's probably rare. But yeah.
When you're with a partner,
Yes.
you got to, you got to spend time with it.
Yes.
And I do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again. I did it on purpose. I just enjoy talking to you, so I purposely didn't press the right buttons.
Oh, come on.
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's lovely. Thank you. And it's there. I can see.
Truth will show when you stand so close, eye to eye.
Thank you so much for joining me for vlog. Do you say vlog or vlog? For my video diary number 3. In a fortnight there'll be video diary number 4. And if you want to find out, exactly when that's coming out, please subscribe on YouTube or the email list at amanda@amandaeaston.com. And I hope to see you next fortnight. Bye.
But I'll be watching you.